Heyo everybody, Zion over here from Nintendo Life. So Donkey Kong Bananza is finally here. You're probably playing it right now, and you might have seen the title of this video and thought, what does Zion want to change with Donkey Kong Bananza? And before you get all mad at me, just know I've spent my entire past week playing it with all of my free time. Now, I'm not going to talk about any spoiler related stuff, but I will say I did just roll credits on the game. I've spent about 20 hours with it so far. I've got so much more to do. But before I do that, I had a few things that I wanted to get off my chest, some things that I'd like to see Nintendo implement in potentially a future update down the road or some kind of DLC. Little things to add, little things to tweak. I'm loving the experience so far. The platforming is so fun. All of the collectibles have so much genuine value in this game. The music is so varied. Some of it's nostalgic, a lot of it's new and upbeat and really unique, and I love the art direction as well. But as I said, there are a few things that I want Nintendo to add or change down the road, and my first request is to add some sort of like pro HUD. When you stop and look, there's actually a lot going on here. You've got your health, the direction of where you're supposed to go, all the Bananza transformations, your gold, all the fossils, and then when you stop and sit for more than like 3 seconds on screen, a little prompt will appear telling you to hold the L button to make music to find your way. And as a video editor, somebody who was trying to get the perfect shot for the video review, I felt it really difficult because you always had that prompt pop up on screen and it was really annoying. Now, it's not really out of the ballpark for Nintendo to add something like this either, because we've had this in Breath of the Wild. It did become a little difficult at times to navigate the game when you were using the Pro HUD. I personally felt a lot more immersed in the world when I wasn't being told what to do necessarily all the time, or I didn't see the map. I actually had to pull it up with the options and look at it, and it was a better experience for me. Now, between the Bananza transformations and rolling around on rocks, there are a lot of different button inputs that the game asks from you, so I think there'd probably be a teething period. I would probably mess up a lot, but imagine if you were to use a GPS every single time you drive from one point to the other, you're probably not going to remember it as well. But if you stop using that GPS, you might look around and soak in your surroundings a bit better. You'll feel a bit more immersed in the actual environment that you're in. And that's why. I just don't want to be reminded how to play the game after 20 hours in. Now, a lot of you are probably aware already that Lanky Kong is in the game. Cranky will appear in the different layers and will reward you with a Banandium gem. But every time you talk to Lanky Kong, at least for me, it seems like Cranky talks about the same exact thing over and over again. Something about a rival in overalls. He'll talk about how he's chasing whoever it was that stole all the Banandium gems, and he knows who it is. And then he'll also give you flack for going off and hunting Banandium gems yourself, and that he had to ride Rambi down into the layers. And I found that if you keep talking to him over and over again, you'll get different responses, and I think the game will kind of randomly determine which one it gives you. It doesn't really seem like you get new responses based on the layer that you're in, and I'm not sure if this is just like maybe a side joke of like Cranky being old and forgetful, but I really thought I was going crazy rereading all of these different responses from Cranky every time I encountered him. What happened to the quick and witty Lanky Kong that would make fun of you and spit out wild jokes every time you went to talk to him in Donkey Kong Country? Maybe this is just something that the localization team or even Nintendo of Japan ran out of time for, but I'd love to see better jokes from Lanky Kong. Now, one thing that really bummed me out when we got that first original look of Donkey Kong Bananza was the fact that Diddy was nowhere to be seen. Now, we, of course, now know that he's in the game with a much more stripped back role. I'd really love to see him kind of reintroduced in the game and allow him to be not playable, but allow him to hang out on your shoulder instead of Pauline. I understand that would kind of cause some implications with the story or even the gameplay, since Pauline sings and then causes DK to transform into his different Bananza forms. If they can't do that, then they should at the very least add a costume, a clothing set for Pauline that makes her look like Diddy. Kind of like what we had in Mario Odyssey, where Mario could wear like a sweater that looked like Donkey Kong, and he had the tail on his back and he had the hat and everything. I mean, he looked like he was wearing the skin of Diddy, honestly, which is a little creepy, but that's what I would love to see for Pauline, because I just want to run around my favorite lovable platforming partners. Please give him back. Now, like in most video games, the final boss can be very difficult, and that, I think, can be said about Donkey Kong Bananza as well. I won't say any more for spoiler reasons, but if you happen to die during the boss, which I've done a lot, there's quite a bit of like unnecessary backtracking that you have to do. It's not really even that complicated, not like there's that much platforming. It's not like it pushes you back 30 minutes. It just pushes you back like a minute. And every time you die, which I died a lot, you have to go back through that process and skip some cutscenes. And I just wish that when you died, there was just a simple button that just let you retry the boss right from there. You can be dropped right back in and fight to your heart's content and die again and again. It won't feel as bad because you don't have to go through that setup. I think it'd also be nice if there was a little button that said return to previous checkpoint or something like that as well, if you want to go like top up and buy some items or something like that, or go back even further. But I'm surprised that Nintendo requires you to go through all that stuff again and again and again. And if you've made it to the final boss as well and you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree, I'm also curious why, but please let me know. Now, beyond this, I really don't have a whole lot of negative criticism or feedback really for Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's just these little things that I would love to see Nintendo tweak. Now, do I actually expect them to watch this video? No. Would I love them to take some notes? Yes. Very much so. Please make some changes. Give us a Diddy Kong costume for Pauline, and I will be a very, very happy Kong. So let us know in the comments down below what you think of Donkey Kong Bonanza so far, if there's anything that you'd like to fix. I was actually just talking with a friend earlier, and they were telling me that they wished that there was an option for you to just hold a button so that way DK would punch forward, up, or down instead. Is that something that you would use? Let us know what kind of changes you'd like to see added to the game in a future update. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, why don't you punch straight ahead at that subscribe button and then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we put up new videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.